we always start the interviews off with the basic question, which is, what do you think of the state of the South Carolina hip hop music scene right now?
What is the state of the South Carolina hip hop music scene? I mean, to be totally honest, my first reaction, like, is there really a scene right now? I mean, you know, the South Carolina music scene goes in spurts, and, you know, sometimes it's real hot, and then sometimes it's ice cold, and, you know, when I'm doing my calls, you know what I'm saying, and hollering at the different DJs around there at this moment in time, as of right now, they like, nothing's really going on. Like, you know, everybody's kind of dead in the water. So, I mean, that's my first reaction. Like, is there a South Carolina hip hop music scene right now? Or is it just a bunch of people running around saying that they do music? There's a difference between, you know, having an actual scene and people just running around saying they're recording music.
Okay. So what do you think is missing? Like, what do you think, you know, there's DJs, there's rappers, there's producers, blah, 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 blah. What do you think is missing?
I think the fans are missing. You know what I'm saying? You can't have a bunch of hustlers with no fiends. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a whole bunch of hustlers, there's no fiends to buy the product. And I think that as far as the fans in South Carolina, I don't think that has been an artist or artist who've generated enough interest to make it be an actual scene where it's actually fans in South Carolina who enjoy the music. Like, you know, if you're in Atlanta, you got people that are actual fans of Atlanta hip-hop. Or if you're in Miami, you got people that are actual fans of Miami hip-hop. Or on the West Coast, you haven't really seen the West Coast popping in a major way in years, but they still have a scene where if a group like Strong Arm Steady Gang or somebody like Gladys Malone or Nipsey Hussle or Kendrick Lamar does a show, then it's packed, you know? In South Carolina, you can't say that. Like, there's no artist in South, or even North Carolina for that matter, that can do a show right now and 500, 600 people are going to show up. So, you know, what I think is missing is just the fans. Like, I think fans in South Carolina have kind of lost interest because there's been so many people who've been, you know, striving to get to that point for so long, you know, as far as artists are concerned, and it's never happened. So I think people just start to be like, whatever, you know, they just don't take interest like they need to.
Okay.
All right, so Charlamagne, with you being in a position of power, do you think it's fair for people to look at you and say that you are somebody that can do something to change it? Like, do you feel like that's fair?
I mean, I can see why people would say that, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, you can't help nobody that's not willing to help themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just can't. Like, it's impossible. It's impossible to help somebody who's not striving to help themselves. Like, I've tried to help tons of artists in the past. Tons of them. You know what I mean? But it never really works. You know what I'm saying? It's like either the artists don't work as hard as you think they're going to work, or, you know, artists expect, you know, to get something that they might, like they have delusions of grandeur when it comes to the rap industry. So, you know, when you put them in certain positions or tell them they're going to do certain things, they're expecting so much in return or expecting something in return. But the truth of the matter is, it might not be nothing for them to get back in return. Like, it's just an opportunity for you to get in a position and, you know, help further your cause. But, you know, like a person, like, you know, I always say, man, like, I'm the type of person, even now to this day, like, there's a lot of things that I've done for free. A lot of things I've done for free in order to get in certain positions and to continue to keep climbing. And I think a lot, like I said, a lot of these artists in South Carolina have delusions of grandeur. They see, you know, Cash Money get these $30 million record deals, or they hear stories about Drake signing for $2 million, and in their mind, they feel like, oh, that's the way it's supposed to be. This is the way it's supposed to go. But no, that's not. That's one or two artists out of thousands, hundreds of thousands. You know. So I just think, like, you know, a lot of these artists have delusions of grandeur, and I think, you know, to look to someone who's in a position to help you in any field is kind of asinine. Like, you know, you got to put yourself in position yourself. Like I said, you know, people only help those that are helping themselves.
So when you said that you don't think there's a scene, and when you were saying that that you would call DJs and ask them, who's popping or what's popping, and they wouldn't really give a response. What do you think is missing? What are they not doing right? Because besides, fan base missing,
the artists aren't consistent. The artists aren't consistent. An artist will have a hot song, he'll have a hot record, and especially nowadays, man, you got a hot record, you got a hot ass record. Hot ass record. It's bubbling in the clubs, bubbling in South Carolina. How do you take that record to the next level? You take that record to the next level with the internet. You got these guys that shoot videos and don't even pay to put them on World Star. You see what I'm saying? So how do you expect to get to that next level or get people to generate interest? Think about it, right? I'm a young kid in South Carolina. I go on World Star Hip Hop every day, on Vlad TV or whatever site it is, and I go look at hundreds of videos from all these different artists. I don't never see nobody from South Carolina. Ever. So how am I ever going to how can I take an artist from South Carolina seriously if I don't see them coming from the venues where I see music? You understand what I'm saying? Like you might go on World Star and see Lil B. You might see Lil B every day. I don't think Lil B is dope, but he's generated a buzz because people think he is somebody. And he's become somebody by putting himself out there like that. So you got all these artists in South Carolina who claim to rap, but we don't never see them nowhere. We don't never see them nowhere other than South Carolina. We don't see them on websites. We don't see them in no other states. We don't see them in no magazines. Why should I take them seriously? And that's what I mean when I say artists they're not consistent. They get one hot song in South Carolina, do a few club appearances, get a few followers on Twitter, and it's like that's enough for them. And they stop. It's not the DJs that stop playing their music. It's not, the bloggers like y'all that don't be checking for them. They stop. And that's it. Like, the artists aren't consistent enough. They're just not consistent enough. Period.
All right, interesting. Now, a lot of people, like on Twitter or just around, they want to talk about the SC movement, this, the SC movement, that. So with those comments you just made, your take on the SC movement, that there is no SC movement, basically.
There is no SC movement. There is no SC movement. And I know artists are going to be so mad and so offended by me saying that, but it's the truth of the matter. Let's deal with the reality of the situation. Everybody needs to look in the mirror, look at their own reflections, and deal with the reality of the situation. The reality of the situation is there is no SC movement. Where? Who? Tell me. I want y'all. Let me ask y'all some questions. Who, Randy? Who, Tasha? Who? Where's the movement? Y'all know what a movement is? You know what the definition of a movement is? If you know what the definition of a movement is, and then you're looking at what's going on in South Carolina, then you're not going to sit here and tell me that that's a movement.
I agree with you.
Yeah, I agree too. I don't follow the SC movement thing, man.
It's bullshit, and it's frustrating because it's like, you love South Carolina. I'm from South Carolina. I'm always support South Carolina, but it's frustrating because it's like you're looking at a whole bunch of people who are delusional. They're 360% delusional. And this is Charlamagne the God talking. There is no movement in South Carolina. There isn't. There is not. If y'all think that's a movement, then y'all really need to look up the definition of movement and Google movements. You know what was a movement? Wu-Tang Clan was a movement. The Black Panthers were a movement. You know what I'm saying? Those were more musically. Death Row was a movement. South Carolina don't got no movement. Sorry. They just don't. It's just not happening. And that's not even, I'm not even dissing or nothing. It's just not. And, I can talk about every problem in South Carolina, but I don't like talking about problems. I like talking about solutions. But, man, I've been trying to talk about solutions for years, and I tell all the artists the same thing, and I haven't seen nobody, not one person, listen to anything I've said thus far. Because you know why? Because when I look on World Star Hip Hop every day, on Vlad TV, This Is 50, I don't see y'all niggas. I see them every now and then, but not on a consistent basis enough to where they generate some type of buzz. And that's just the truth to the matter.
All right, now, with you being in New York, I'm in Atlanta, Tarsus in North Carolina. So I mean, with people outside of South Carolina, people even care outside of South Carolina what's going on in the state? Does it matter?
No, they don't care. They don't care unless we bring it up. It's nobody talking about South Carolina. Fuck what you heard. Don't let none of them fucking, music directors and program directors and dumbass DJs tell y'all that, oh, I'm talking to this person, and I'm talking to that person, and I'm getting calls about you, and this and that. No, you're not. No, you're not. And nobody talking about South Carolina. Nobody. Nobody talking about any artists in South Carolina. Nobody talking about any songs in South Carolina. The few times, the last person I heard anybody talk about was Boss G. And that was from my man Jay Grant, and that's because, you know, we was pumping, you know, Boss G's music to Jay Grant. And you know, like that's the last person I've heard anybody talk about from South Carolina. Nobody talking about anybody from South Carolina right now. And I want the artists to be mad when they hear this shit. You know why I want them to be mad when they hear this shit? Because I want them to be mad and get up off their ass and really start working. You know what I'm saying? Fuck being in the club and spending $500 on strippers. Spend $500 to get your video put on World Star all the time. How about do that? So people can start seeing you. So people can start seeing your name. That's how you build. That's how you start building some type of buzz. So people in South Carolina start taking you serious. So when you walking down the street, one of these little kids be like, oh, you know, such and such. I saw you on World Star yesterday. Oh, I saw you on This Is 50 yesterday. Yada yada yada. Listen, I can give people. Well, it's not hard to get the connections to these websites. All you gotta do is go to them and go to the screen that says contact information. You know what I'm saying? Put the contact information on WorldStar, you can figure out how to get your motherfucking videos on WorldStar. You know who to contact and they can give you the numbers. You gotta do stuff like that. You have to do stuff like that. But yeah, to answer your question, no, nobody is talking about South Carolina. Outside of South Carolina. Am I lying, Randy? Am I lying?
No, you're not. I just want to hear it come from you.
That's the truth. Nobody's talking about South Carolina at all. Not even a little bit. And I salute everybody from the Carolinas who individually are in certain positions, and that's just like, you know, hey, that's like watching somebody from South Carolina just saying that's my man, he's doing his thing. But you know, it's not helping the overall movement. Like I'm in New York. So you know what I'm helping? I'm helping the New York landscape because I'm here. Randy, you in Atlanta, so you're helping the ATL landscape. Is you know, I guess I would love for it to be, you know, a headquarters in South Carolina. I would love for it to be a movement in South Carolina that our talents could really help push. But there's no movement. It's nothing there. It's nothing for us to help push. And that's just the truth to the matter. We can help individuals, like Randy, you can help a Warren J. Tasha, you can help a GP, but there's no collective movement there for us to push. I can help a Freddie G's, Mary Liz, but there's no collective movement there for us to push. And we can only push those people but so far. They gotta want it like we want it. You know, like I'm gonna keep saying it over and over again. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work. I've seen a lot of talentless people pop off in this industry because they outwork all the so-called talented motherfuckers. I don't care how good you can rap. I care how hard you can work. That's what I care about.
Okay, wow. Now, I mean, any last words, any words of encouragement, solution to the problem, anything you want to say out there?
My solution to the problem is this. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work. You know, artists need to start being more consistent. Artists need to start branding themselves outside of South Carolina. And look, man, even if you don't have the money to being in Atlanta or being in New York, because truthfully, being in these places don't do nothing for you. Don't nobody know who the fuck you are. It's like, yo, if you can't create a buzz in South Carolina, what makes you think you're gonna create a buzz in Atlanta? You know what I'm saying? Artists kill me when they say that shit. Like, oh, I'm South Carolina, no support, I'm gonna go to Atlanta. If you can't get D-Lord or Frosty to play your record, you really think you gonna get DJ Greg Street or Drama to play your fucking record? Like, be for real, nigga. Like, just really be for real with yourself. I need all these artists to start being for real with themselves. And I think once these artists in South Carolina start being more consistent and start spending some money on some shit other than, you know, strippers and bottles in the club, and start putting their money towards these websites, and, you know, when they shoot a video, not just, you know, putting the video up on YouTube, but actually taking the video and actually spending some money to promote it on these different websites so people can actually see it. When people start doing that and using the internet the way it should be used, I think you'll start seeing some changes. You'll start seeing the changes. I mean, to go back to my original point, you don't have to be in these places for people to start seeing you and start knowing who you are. Because we have the internet. We have the internet. Motherfucking Drake is from Toronto. He utilized the internet. Look where he's at now. You know what I'm saying? Wiz Khalifa's from Pittsburgh. Fucking, you know, Odd Future, they from L.A. I don't know. I've never met these guys personally, but I love their music. And how did I get introduced to them? Through the internet. Through the internet. Why? Because these dudes were consistent. They were consistent and constantly putting out product and putting it in the right places till people cared. And when people cared, guess what the blog started doing? The blog started grabbing their stuff because it started helping the blogs. So it's like, okay, you help you. At first you might have to, you know, spend some money to get heard and, you know, get your videos in the right places. But once people start seeing you and saying, yo, this person is kind of dope, and the blogs start seeing that, hey, these videos are generating traffic for our website, then they start looking for you. And that's what the motherfuckers in South Carolina need to start doing. And I've done it. I did it with the Hood State of the Union, with Lil Duval. When I was in Columbia, I was utilizing the internet and putting my interviews like with Buffy the Body and T-Pain online. And that's how Wendy heard about me in New York. You know, and brought me up to New York. And when I was in Philly and me and Lil Duval was doing the Hood State of the Union, that generated buzz for television network. And that people are about to see now. You're about to see the fruits of that labor now. And that was back in 2009 when me and Duval was doing those Hood State of the Union videos. But you're about to see the fruits of that labor now. Or even now with the Breakfast Club, how we're constantly putting webisodes out there, constantly throwing interviews out there. All of that does is generate interest of other entities. And they're like, you know what? These guys look pretty good in front of the camera. Oh, they may be in New York, but, you know, people in Cali, people in London are listening to our show because of the way we utilize the internet. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, listen, man, I can give you the game plan, but if you don't study the game plan and learn how to run the play, that's on you. But I mean, it's right there. I mean, the blueprint is right there for people. Maybe I should have rapped. If I rap, maybe South Carolina been on. Maybe we have a platinum plaque. It ain't too late, man. No, I'm not doing that stupid shit.
No, I was joking, man. I mean, but there you have it, man, from the man himself, from Charlamagne the God. He said it all right there.